watch it all just collapse. This was a good idea. I particularly related to Morgan's comment about Frances peering at you over her readers. I first met Frances in 1990 or 91. It's all kind of vague now, but when the Writers' Festival hired me as their publicist, and Frances was the box office manager. She was not in the office when I first started, and I didn't meet her for a week or so until we had the annual staff pre-festival get-together at Elma's home. And I had been warned, as apparently had Frances, that there might be a chalk and cheese situation here, that we were quite likely quite disparate personalities, let's just say. And apparently there was some trepidation amongst the other Writers' Festivals as to how this was going to go. They had no idea that we were just practically going to fall in love at first sight. It was pretty astonishing. For one thing, of course, Frances and I saw eye to eye. And that's not to say that we didn't have our disagreements. We certainly did over the decades, and they were often vigorous. And some of my most cherished moments are when Frances would pause in the middle of an argument, look at me over her glasses, say, "I hate it when you're right." Not that that happened very often. I remember one time Frances remarked to me, she said, "You know, we're both perceived to be fairly intimidating individuals." And I said, "Yeah, isn't that funny?" And she said, "Well, use it wisely." And she certainly did, and I hope maybe I learned to as well. I'd like to now invite Lynn Davis to join us here. One of the big things in Frances' life for many years was the Michigan Festival.
Thank you, Kevin. Greetings to everybody who is here, and especially to my sisters from the festival who are here with us. Would you give us a little sign here? Thank you very much. So those of you who were at Frances's and Marguerite's house probably saw on Frances's study door that bulletin board that had all those funny strips of different colored plastic with different years stuck to it. Those were the wristbands that we had. And as Kevin said, festival was a very, very important part of Frances's life, and also of mine and of everybody from festival who is here today. Frances, so the Michigan Women's Music Festival ended in 2015. It was 40 years of hot-eyed women and their children coming together in, as we called it, the fucking woods, to build, run, take down, and store a week-long festival that at its peak had 3 stages, 3 areas of child care, 2 kitchens, 14 performance spaces, innumerable showers, campgrounds, porta-janes, rumors, relationships, some years mosquitoes, some years raccoons. It was amazing. It was a brigadoon of weirdos and activists who got together every year, and somehow everybody always fit in. Frances never attended festival as a festie. She was always on crew. First box office, then accounting, and then country store. And as a regular participant in the festival spelling bee, Frances would, I am sure, want you to know that the proper spelling of the word country in the phrase country store is C-U-N-T-R-E-E. I'm sure you'll be surprised to learn that my experience of working with Frances is that she knew exactly what should be done and exactly how it should be done. And I'm sure you'll be surprised to learn that I beat my head so many times against that brick wall of trying to get Frances to hurry up, and I never once could do it. I loved her dearly, and so did so many women and their children who met her, and worked with her, and fought with her, and laughed with her. She was a sister, she was a co-worker, she was a mother, she was a mentor, she was an auntie, she was a grandmother, and she was the deepest, truest friend. She also made a great narrator of our skit at the No Talent Talent Show, which is out there somewhere on YouTube. I met Frances in the accounting trailer in August of 1998. We were zonning, entering data from womanly crash charge slips into this machine. 2 sentences into the conversation, I knew that I had met a friend for life. She was my touchstone. She was my boon companion. She was the gateway for me to so many friendships with so many women whom I loved so deeply. At a time when I felt like my life had completely blown up and I could barely have enough hope that my body would somehow find the courage to draw the next breath, Frances and Marguerite were there for me. At the time of my greatest joy of my marriage to Patty, Frances and Marguerite were there for me. And it wasn't an easy friendship. She gigged me continually because I would disappear. And through my years with Frances, I have learned not to disappear as much. I'm much better at it. The last time I saw Frances was July 20th and 21st, which was just before I left for festival. And when I walked into the living room and we made eye contact, she blurted out, "I'm going to festival." And I said, "Sweetheart, you are. You will be right here every single minute." And she was with us at festival. We put photos of her in our tent, in our crew, where we sold merchandise. When there was a central altar put up, we moved those photos to her, and you can see over there a photo of Frances in her money belt at that altar. And it's no surprise to me that on the day that her sister Mary Beth and I left the land together was just about the exact time that Frances's body lost its ability to swallow. Frances loved that festival, and that festival loved Frances. And my wish for all of us is that ferocity and that connection and that difficulty hone us and make us sharp and fierce and the very best we can be in this world and whatever comes afterwards. Thank you, all my readers.